Hi there, welcome back to another Crypto Dave video. So today I'm doing the July Bitcoin market update. I'm trying to do these earlier on in the month. I know a couple of months ago they kind of got pushed a little bit further back to the middle of the month, but I'm trying to do this certainly in the first week of each month going forward. Before I start, if you could give me a thumbs up or a comment or anything like that, consider subscribing to the channel, that would be fantastic. As I've mentioned in a couple of other videos, I'm sort of rebooting the channel after around 4 years kind of away, so not getting a huge amount of traction. So anything you can do in terms of that would be really helpful for the algorithm. But let's jump straight in and have a look at the market, see what's been happening and what I think is going to happen over the next month. So here we have a Bitcoin chart. This is a daily Bitcoin chart. Here is the initial kind of like big pull down in February, so 5th of February, where we hit that kind of low, and then we had this long big bear flag where we moved sideways for essentially 5 months before breaking through that, breaking through the 200-week moving average here. And then since then, this is the last month. So we did the previous video probably somewhere around here. So we just had that initial breakdown to the 200-week moving average, and then we had a little kind of little sort of bounce off of that. We came below it for a couple of days, but then we were above it, went back down, came above it for a few things, and it took, this is basically a month here between the end and this initial break below it, but it took like almost a month to kind of come down and then have a slightly lower low, not dramatically less. I think we touched 57.7 on the wick here, but we ended the day 58.5, and then the last few days we've had a little bit of a recovery, heading back towards this 200-week moving average, which may well act as resistance over the next sort of month or so. We may then kind of break above that, but I think we're going to be roughly range bound really for the next few months. If you've seen some of my other videos, you'll know that I've actually started putting some of my kind of resources into some LP funds or LP positions, because I think for the next 2 or 3 months we're going to be relatively range bound. So whether that's something like, this takes us up to the October, so something like that, and then on the top maybe we go slightly above this, but we have something like this over the next sort of 2 to 3 months, and then within that, you know, we bounce around. So we maybe come off that a couple of times, then maybe we bounce through it, but I think we're going to be roughly range bound, something kind of like this, and then eventually, you know, end of September, beginning of October, we're going to have that next big leg down, something like that. So that would be my kind of prediction, because I think we're going to be roughly range bound for the next 2 to 3 months. I've started putting some, as I said, some of my funds into LP position. I'm happy to earn the fees over the next 2 or 3 months before I think we'll take that next leg down. And then I think this next leg down, possibly second half of September, early October, will take us down. Probably here's the 50k level. That was my target, well, sort of 9 months ago, or whenever I started this kind of looking at these things, but that was kind of my target price to start accumulating. It's also slightly time based, so I have started DCA, and some of my slightly higher positions have been hit. So a little bit at 65, a little bit at 62, and then 60,000 for Bitcoin. Started a little bit of a long-term DCA in over the next 4 months. So I will be purchasing all through this kind of period, but then holding some stuff in reserve for what I think will be another low in the autumn, and then I think this probably starts the kind of bottoming process. We may stay a little bit over 50, maybe we go down to sort of 53, 55. We could go lower if the stock market suddenly collapses. If we have a really bad kind of like little run on the stock market, Bitcoin could come lower than this. Maybe we go down to sort of 45. I don't think we're going to be there that low for that long. So if we do come down to this kind of level, this is like prime accumulation kind of time for me, and certainly over the last 3 months of the year. So if this happens sort of early October, then we've got 3 months then where I think we'll be pretty low, where we can accumulate some more Bitcoin, and then probably from the beginning of next year we see the bottoming process finish and we start to kind of climb back up. But that would be my prediction for what's going to happen over the next 2 to 3 months. I think in the next month we probably just bounce around sideways around this kind of like current-ish kind of level. Now there is a chance that we have a test of the 200 week, it's rejected decisively, and we come back down lower sooner. So if we came back down, say in the next 2 to 3 weeks, I don't think it's quite as likely, but if we do come down to that sort of maybe 55, something like that, and then move sideways, you know, there is a chance that we've got a slightly earlier kind of bottom than I kind of predicted, and that will be the low for the kind of cycle. But I think more likely is we bounce around sideways, a little bit of an increase. Everybody thinks, you know, for a month we're going lower, then the second month they think, oh, you know, as we creep higher, they think, oh, maybe the bottom was in, maybe that test here was just essentially a retest of this low, and essentially this kind of 60,000, 58 to 60,000 level was the low for the cycle. And then I think people start to get a little bit bullish. We hit the top of the range somewhere here, 2 to 3 months, everybody's like, you know, it's going up, and then we have that last leg down. So that would be my prediction. I'm interested, as always, what you think. Let me know below in the comments what you think is going to happen over the next kind of month or so. As always, we'll do another update at the beginning of next month, but this is purely just my personal kind of opinions, not financial advice or anything like that, but I'm always interested to hear what you think is going to happen as well. Thanks very much for watching, as always. I hope you're all doing well. Hopefully I will see you on the next video, but until then, have a great day. Bye-bye.